boxed out of Newbridge, Wales. Following an accomplished amateur career that included 3 consecutive ABA titles, he turned pro in 1993 under the tutelage of his father, Enzo. He captured the BBBC British Super Middleweight title before defeating Chris Eubank in 1997 for the vacant WBO Super Middleweight title. He successfully defended his title, a division record, 21 times. Held victories over such names as Robin Reed, Brian Mitchell, Mikhail Kessler, Bernard Hopkins, and Roy Jones Jr. He never tasted defeat. In his 15-year career, 2014 Hall of Fame inductee, the pride of Wales, Joe Calzaghe.
Thank you so much. Wow. Just going to see if it fits, man. Yep, it fits. How am I going to follow that one? I just want to start off with saying some thank yous. Obviously, huge thanks to Ed Brophy and the Hall of Fame committee in making this weekend so special for myself and for all the fighters here. All the volunteers that have done such a terrific job. It's been unbelievable. I will never forget this for the rest of my life, you know. To see these great champions and nominees, referees, promoters, and to be nominated on the 25th anniversary against 2 absolutely special fighters in Oscar De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. I'm just so humbled to be here in this presence. Also, the people here with me, my girlfriend Lucy, my dad, my beautiful son, Joe Jr., I love you. I love you, Dad. My trainer, Dad, and my best friend. Amazing. My son, my other son, Connor, couldn't make it, unfortunately. My mum and all my family back home, all the fans, unbelievable. Wow. I'm just going to talk a bit about my career. I started boxing in the age of 9 years old. I wanted to play football. My dad's been Italian. I wanted to, football is in soccer, okay? He's not throwing the ball. I wanted to be a soccer player. I just remember my dad bought me a speedball at the age of 9 years old. I was pretty good with my hands, but I preferred football. I wanted to go play football, so my dad's a musician. My dad's never boxed in his life, you know? He knew how to fight, he knew the education of boxing, but he's never boxed, okay? So I wanted to be a footballer, and I remember being freezing cold in the winter, left on the subs bench, shivering, not scoring any goals. Then I went to the boxing gym and I started beating people up, and I thought, you know what? I like this boxing, man. I think this feels good. You know, my hands were a lot faster than my feet. And 1982 was going well. Not 1982. 1985, I won my first British ABA championship at 36 kilograms. I think that's 5 stone 10. I don't know in pounds. And that feeling of being a winner, of being the champion, was the most amazing feeling ever. And that was my dream. I went to school, I skipped school, I trained like a professional. My father kicked me up the ass. Sorry, where's the ass? I didn't have the choice. You know, rain, sleet, or snow, you're going to go for a run, because he knew my talent. He knew that was my way out to do something in my life. He saw the talent. He nurtured it. He pushed me. You know, I didn't have a job. I had no funding. I should have went to the Barcelona Olympics, but that's another story. I got robbed. I won 3 consecutive ABA titles at 3 different weights. I love winning. And what can I say? You know, I turned professional in October 93. Won my first fight in Cardiff. I think I won about 17, 18 fights before I won the British title. And then I fought a guy called Chris Eubank. Now, Chris Eubank had boxed 20-odd fights. I think I boxed about 19 fights, knocked everybody out in the first 3 rounds, to be honest, I was very cocky at that age, you know, very cocky. And I just looked at Chris Eubank and I said, Chris, I'm going to knock you out. He looked at me, he said, I'm going to take you to one place you've never, ever been. I'm going to take you to the trenches in this fight, man. You've never been in the fight yet. And I'm thinking, trenches, what does that mean? Okay. Okay, come out the first round. And Mr. Joe Calzaghe will tell you this because he was refereed my fight against Chris Eubank. And I knocked him down in the first 15 seconds. And I'm thinking, I thought this guy had a good chin. And I was looking at my dad thinking, I'm going to knock this guy out. Trust me, Chris Eubank got up and he gave me the toughest fight I ever could have dreamt of. Took me to them trenches that you were talking about. And believe me, I couldn't move for 2-3 days, you know. I was exhausted after 6 rounds. I'd never done more than 6-7 rounds in a real war, in a real fight. And I was so proud to come through that fight, and it was so hard. And to the end of my career, that was by far my hardest fight. So I was so proud of that. Nothing come easy. I wanted to unify the titles. Like every single fighter wants to unify titles. It's all about politics and business. I was fighting fighters that had just got beat. 6 former world champions. I was injured all the time. I pulled out of a lot of fights. Sorry, Glenn, where you at? Glenn Johnson was one of the opponents I supposed to have fought. And it was, to be honest, it was frustrating for me. You know, I wasn't making no money. I was fighting once a year, I think, between 1999 and 2001. Thank God, everything come together. And then finally, in 2006, I finally got my big fight against Jeff Lacey, where I was a big underdog. People wrote me off. I was injured again going into that fight, but my dad just took me and he said, I owe my father, I was going to pull out, I was injured, I damaged my wrist, and I thought, I'm going to fight this guy. And Dad says to me, Joe, you have to fight this fight, even with one hand, because I'm proud of you no matter what. You need to fight this fight. This is the fight you've been waiting for all your career. And trust me, Joe, you're gonna do a number on this guy. And just to hear my dad say that he's proud of me, and no matter what happens, thank you, Dad, for the belief in me and give me that confidence. And then onwards and upwards, you know, from the age of 34, I started getting my big fights, you know, going against Mikko Kessler, fighting in front of 50,000 people in my home crowd in Cardiff, Wales, unifying all the belts, being Ring Magazine champion. There was only one thing that was missing, and that was coming to the States, which meant so much to me to come to America, to come and fight in Vegas, step up and fight IBHOF, Bernard Hopkins. You know, I actually bought my own ticket after the Kessler fight. I think I had the comp. Thank you. I didn't pay for the ringside seat. But I had to pay for my ticket to come over, to pay for the hotel. For the sole reason was to go and try and get a fight in America. Bump into Hopkins, which I did in the press room, which was fantastic. The fight was made. Winning the 2-weight world championship, beating the #1 fighter in America meant so much to me. And to finish my career off in Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing, from where I brought up in a small little town in South Wales, in the little leisure centres I used to fight, to finish our fight in Madison Square Garden against a legend and one of the greatest fighters ever lived in Roy Jones Jr. was most amazing, surreal thing. I thank God, I thank all my fans, my family that's always been there for me. Wow, man. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for being here and giving me one of the best weekends. I'll never, ever forget this moment, and I'll cherish it for the rest of my life. Thank you so much.